Hey, welcome to Mike's Trains and thanks for joining me for another video. I'd like to start this video by saying I hope everybody's doing okay amidst this coronavirus. Being locked up at home, it's not a great thing, but you got to do what you got to do. So I hope everybody's doing all right. I will also say that this is kind of affecting what I do with the trains because, I order things online to get in here to do stuff, and it's starting now to affect what I do on the trains because it's taking a long time to get things in the mail. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing okay and everybody's good. So let's start by looking at what I'm showing you here. So what I wanted to start with is this right here. This is going to be the access road that goes behind the shopping mall here, and I had to cover that in joint compound because when I put in all this stuff and I filled up some of this sceneries and some of the things up in here, I inadvertently messed up some of my roadway here, so I have to re-smooth that out and blend it back down so that I can make the road go all the way around to the back. And when this is dry, I'll give it a quick sand. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little bumpy, a little rough. It's not a perfect road. It's not a traveled road. It's just an access road. So it can be a little crappy and a little potholed. It's fine. And then once this dries and we get a little sand to it, I'm going to paint it this color here, which matches what's in the back. Because if you remember, this styrene sheet only goes to about right here, and then it's just layout after that. So straight across out, the road goes, the styrene goes in the back. It goes straight across in the back. So I have to match this part here to match this. I'm gonna make it look the same. So that's the plan with that. Somebody had mentioned, oh, you should do an access road back there. It's already been in the works. I just hadn't gotten to it yet. That's where it's going to be. So anyway, that being said, let's move on to some of the other stuff that I've gotten done this week that I didn't do video for. And you can see the shopping mall kind of looks the same until you get over to here. And what we have here is the car dealer, and let me get you in a little closer. So what you see here is the car dealer, and what I've done is I've finished the white fence that I told you I was going to put in the front. I showed you how I made that last week. This is that white fence that I made, and I actually used some pieces I had left over from a previous layout setup. So I'm reusing that here, and then I have more in the back, and the gates in here are open. I glued them open like I said I would. I added some trees, which gives us a much more finished appearance. And then what I have here, I've been kind of playing with. This is a sign that came with something I had a long time ago. Obviously there's no decals on it or anything. I'll have to do that. But I was playing with, kind of fooling around with trying to maybe putting this here as a sign for the used car dealer. Don't know if that's what's going to happen, but that's the idea right now. That may or may not happen, but again, looking at it, trying to figure out if that's what I need to do. So as far as this car dealer goes, this shopping mall over here, this is all pretty well done. So let me move the camera and we'll talk about some of the stuff you see in the back that is new. Okay, so back here you're seeing a backdrop that I've built. This is the Higbee's building we just finished a series on, and this is the parking garage that I was talking about putting in here. Let me pull this building out of the way, and let me talk about this backdrop a little bit. This is a backdrop I've built, okay, and I say built because this is actually 3 layers. The front layer is this layer right here that you see with the houses on it, the trees up in here and all that. Behind that layer is another city layer right here with all these tall buildings right here. And then the third layer is this layer right here of the faraway hillside mountainy type areas. And those are all put together into one backdrop. And that's going to give me depth on my wall. Okay. And then this is going to line up right to the edge of the layout. Right over here. It's going to come right up to the edge. And you're probably thinking, well, some of this doesn't line up. This is square here. It doesn't really look right. But when this building sits on top of this, that all gets covered up. Okay, that'll all get covered up. And of course I need to drill holes for these wires to go down underneath, and then I can mount this all in there. And that'll all be taken care of. Now this parking garage I've done here, this is another image that I went online and I did a search for parking garages. I found this one. I added the signs here in like a Photoshop program that I have. I added this here. It says public parking. And then printed that and stuck it to foam core board. And that made this. And then this is going to sit right here like that. And then we have a parking garage on the building with the backdrop behind. Gives you that depth and that look of things don't end right here. Now the only thing I wanted to make sure of was that this Higbee sign that I spent so much time building, you're going to be able to see it, right? So we have a road that comes right here. This is the line for this side of the road, line for the other side of the road. So I want this sign to center up for this road here. And that's what we have here. So this will go something like that. And then this will sit in here like that right up to the building. And then a sidewalk across the front. Okay, and we'll make a little drive entrance to match up to this parking garage, and that'll all be good. And then as far as this end, I have yet another building, much like this one, but a brick building that will fit flat against the wall right here on this side. And that'll finish that whole backdrop. Now, as for this end over here, so what's going to happen is, you can see this backdrop, if I push it back, it raises up on the bottom here. Okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to take out this foreground hillside here all the way back to the end of the backdrop over there. I'm going to take it all out. I'm going to cut it in a line. So this is the line for the road, and then this road will come this way. This is the other side of the road, and the whole thing is going to come here, and it's going to curve right back into the backdrop, and it'll cut back into this hillside. So it'll cut in a curve. I don't know if you're following what I'm saying, but it'll cut in a curve, and then this will be a wall, and I'll make a small retaining wall on the inside, on this side of it, that the road will run against, and that'll be down inside there. So this roadway will disappear right into the backdrop. And then I'll probably end up adding more of this background, this hillside here, all the way across to the end, to where that rock outcropping is down there. And that'll blend into the scenery that is the backdrop that's above it. We'll blend that all in. And then this will look like one continuous long backdrop. So that's a lot going on. I didn't do videos for it because it's really not a lot to really show for a video, but it's a lot of stuff getting done. Now the only other thing I wanted to talk about is this area right here. We had talked about, I showed you I was going to put that gas station, the one we did the video series on, is going to go here, and then we were talking about this area over here as to what was going to go here. It's been suggested more than one time that I should put a car wash here, and I just kind of, I don't know, I couldn't really wrap my head around it. But the more I think about it, and then I had, I think it was a week or two ago, you'll have to forgive me, I don't remember your name, without going back to look, but someone suggested making a working parking garage for this area, a working car wash for this area with the brushes inside that turn, you know, that you can actually see moving. And this is where the virus stuff comes into play, where it's hard to get stuff. Well, I started thinking about this ever since then and went over it with my son. And I ordered a set of gears a month ago. Well, they just came in today. So, you know, as you're watching it, it's a couple days ago. But they just got here, and I can actually start playing with making all that work, and I'm fairly sure I can do it. And I think I'm gonna do my damnedest to get it done. So stay tuned. I'm not gonna do a build series on it because it's just too much work and too much stuff that I don't know in my head right now how it's going to work. But I will do a full video after it's built, and we'll take a look at the whole workings of it and how it's all put together. That's what we'll do with that. So anyway, that's going to be it for this week. As always, if you're just finding me for the first time, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to like and share my videos. You can also visit my website at mikestrains.wordpress.com, and over there you can see other photos of my layout. You can see what this used to look like. There are still pictures of all of that, this area, and all of this area down here, what it was before, what it is now. So if you're interested in that, you can go over there and check that out. You can also subscribe. You can get email updates whenever I post over there. Yeah, so that's it. So until next week, happy modeling.